three encouraging signs on this storm for weakening overall.
Absolutely. The National Weather Service sort of downgrading, walking down the intensity of this thunderstorm in their products, saying that golf ball size hail is kind of the upper bound as to what's possible right now. And I think that might even be a little bit generous. What I've noted in some of the latest radar scans, though, is kind of that hail core shifting a little bit farther north. So I think Greensburg, you're probably going to be possibly under the gun from getting a little bit of hail at some point, even if it's below 1 inch in diameter. That's still noteworthy. Greensburg dealing with some fairly heavy rain right now. It's likely going to get heavier in the next 10, 20, 30 minutes or so. A lot of lightning within this thunderstorm too. Josh just turned that on, and oftentimes when you see a strengthening thunderstorm, you'll see this flare up in lightning. And it's interesting to note right there, just west of Greensburg, we see a flare up in lightning as well. So that may become the more dominant portion of the cell. And something else that's interesting is just south of all that action too, we're noting some new development right there. And usually on the southern end of these storms, that's where we find the greatest tornado threat. The last couple of radar scans do reveal a weakening trend in the overall rotation, and that's good news, but we'll see how this evolves over the next little while. That tornado warning is still in effect until 7:15. Nothing here looks overly concerning right now. If anything, there might be a surge of straight line winds starting to come in just south of Greensburg here. But that tornado warning in effect until 7:15. I think we can probably just about sound the all clear for East Feliciana Parish from a tornadic perspective. This is primarily a St. Helena Parish issue at this point for areas south of Greensburg here, north of Montpelier.
No new update from the National Weather Service, Malcolm. I checked our chat with them. Full disclosure, everybody, we have a chat room that we participate in with the local National Weather Service office. And it's the same message Malcolm was able to detect a few minutes ago, that they are, again, walking down the intensity level or the max intensity level of this thunderstorm right now. Indications are they'll probably be letting this expire. There are no plans to continue it for now, they say. But as we pointed out, these thunderstorms sometimes can pulse. We talked about some of the factors working against this storm, and another one is simply the time of day. One of the major ingredients that got storms going today was that it was unusually warm for early March. We made it well into the 80s, and make no mistake, the storms are feeding off of that warmth and the moisture available today. But as we move closer to sunset and the temperatures are dropping, that certainly is going to assist in eventually tamping down the intensity of these storms as well. So at this time, we basically just have an active tornado warning, we'll say, for west central St. Helena Parish. That's live until 7:15, though the intensity has ramped down. The signs of rotation is a little bit weaker than it was 15 minutes ago when we first came onto the air. And the reason we were considering coming onto the air was for the hail, and even the max size hail seems to have come down in this storm as well. I'll push in on this storm motion map just to show you, if there is a tornado, where we're seeing the most likely rotation. This is where it would be right now, crossing Highway 37 in west central St. Helena Parish, and is moving toward Highway 449. And again, that's a connector between Greensburg and also Montpelier. And then eventually Highway 43 as well would be down the line. But this is moving off to the east-southeast at about 25 miles per hour. So what we'll do is we will track that, and it's ETA to Montpelier. And that would be 15 miles off to the east-southeast, gets to Montpelier around 7:09 if we continue to hold on to the warning and the signature for any rotation at that time. Another thing we've been keeping an eye on that we can always cross-check to see if this is not just simply rain or hail that we're detecting is our debris tracker here. And this looks for something that would stand out as a much deeper shade of blue and a wide swath of deeper shade of blue, not these little spikes or swatches you're seeing near Montpelier. You want to see a circle of, say, brighter green or blue right near where we see the rotation. So that would have to be kind of in this area, and we're not seeing that. And that tells us there's no other matter in the clouds right now that is not natural, such as precipitation, whether it be rain or hail. So that's good news, so that we don't have any clear sign that there's a tornado on the ground right now.
And it's also important to note that this is really it for the night. If we zoom out a little bit wider, you're going to find that this is the only really thunderstorm in the capital area. This is all continuing to race off to the north and east, and there's not more taking its place. And as Josh mentioned, with the loss of daytime warming, not only do these storms have more working against them, but really we're not likely to see any thunderstorm development at all in addition to this due to the fact that we're about to lose daytime warming. So this is it. That tornado warning remaining in effect until 7:15 for now. No word from the National Weather Service on whether or not they are going to let this expire early. They did say in the chat room that it is looking less and less likely that they are going to issue one farther downstream for Tangipahoa Parish, which is definitely good news. Right now, this is looking more so like a straight line wind threat for west central St. Helena Parish and areas just west of Greensburg, probably a hail threat here. Yeah, again, you can see that little surge of blues right there. That's probably straight line winds as opposed to anything tornadic. 616 people within this tornado warning polygon. So that severe thunderstorm warning also in effect just to the north as well. Potential there for hail over 1 inch in diameter and gusty winds as well. Josh is sampling some of those velocities right now. They're showing on the order of 20 to 30 miles per hour, but it's important to note that this is the component of the velocity moving toward the radar. Probably a little bit higher than that near the surface. I'd say 40, maybe 50 miles per hour, up to 60 within that particular severe thunderstorm warning. So the reason that we came on the air for this was the tornado warning. That was the primary reason. Around 6:30, started off in East Feliciana Parish and then moved into St. Helena Parish. There was also at one time the potential for 2-inch diameter hail. And we haven't seen any damage reports coming in yet, but if you live in East Feliciana Parish or St. Helena Parish and you have seen any damage, please send that to us. It helps us understand what's actually going on at the ground. That hail core is still going. I'd say at least up to 1-inch diameter hail is a possibility just west of Greensburg. I'd give it maybe another 10, 20 minutes or so before it's in the town of Greensburg itself. But right now, I think that tornado threat is looking rather low at this time.
Yeah, I would have to agree, Malcolm. I will be surprised if they extend this based on everything we've been seeing over the last couple of minutes here in the last few radar scans. The storm motion, as you pointed out, while the winds may be a little bit stronger than what radar is indicating, the fact is that we don't really see this tight signature of rotation. Usually you look for a tight-knit little ball where you have a contrast between the blue and the red. And right now this is sort of broad and looks a little messy and unorganized, not super tight, not super strong. So while this storm as a whole may have some rotation to it, we don't likely have that really small scale rotation connecting to the surface, which would indicate a tornado. And as you can see, they've just trimmed the western side of this red box or red polygon, which would take East Feliciana Parish out of the tornado warning now, and that is good news. So you are all clear if you're in East Feliciana Parish right now. The warning is live until about 7:15. We'll likely take our coverage here toward the top of the hour, and if we don't see any additional reason to stay on, we may go ahead and get you back to your regular programming and allow this tornado warning to expire on schedule at 7:15 with us not sensing any more immediate danger to the folks in between Greensburg and Montpelier right now. But the storm station on the air for you right now watching that. I know that on ABC there's other programming you're trying to keep an eye on right now. This is our mission, though, to make sure we're here with you through these active weather events, as inconvenient as it may be for those that are not necessarily affected by this weather right now. But we certainly want to be there for our viewers and residents in St. Helena Parish. And Malcolm, we're continuing to scan away here. We've seen this red polygon or warning box for the tornado trimmed. The National Weather Service continues to indicate that there will not be an extension of this, and putting our two meteorological minds together right now, we don't see any reason it should be.
Yeah, at least as of right now. Obviously, things could change in the next hour or two. We still got a little bit of daylight left, so there is a world where this pulses up again, and if that happens, we'll be covering any additional tornado warnings that would come out. If we could go back to the conventional display for just a moment, something interesting, and if we could pause it as well, especially on my workstation back in the Weather Center, I did start to notice some rain starting to wrap around, possibly a new circulation way up high in the sky. We're talking several thousand feet above the ground, and that could be a sign of this particular, what we call supercell thunderstorm starting to rotate again. Because remember, earlier on, we had a weaker shower sort of get ingested by this rotating thunderstorm, and that weakened it for a time. And now with nothing off to the south, there's a chance that this strengthens again. That's something we'll have to watch over the next couple of minutes here. That tornado warning still in effect for St. Helena Parish until 7:15. Very important to note, East Feliciana Parish residents are no longer included within this tornado warning. But south of Greensburg, north of Montpelier, that's the zone for where there could be a possible spin-up tornado at some point. Latest radar scans have been encouraging, but we're still monitoring this very closely. And just a reminder for everybody, in the event that a tornado warning is ever issued for your location, and even for those of you right now, the safe places to be, lowest level of your home in a sturdy structure. And the idea is to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible to sort of add these layers of protection from a tornado outside. So that's floor 1, center of a sturdy structure. Upstairs, not a good idea. Even cars, a bad idea, as tornadoes can sort of toss those around really easily as the air current gets under the car and can lift them really easily. But that's what we're looking at right now, the tornado warning here. Josh, did you see anything in the chat room?
I just received a notification from the newsroom that we had a report that authorities are heading towards eastern parts of East Feliciana Parish for probable storm damage. Unconfirmed as to what that may be or exactly where yet, but the newsroom is working on that, and that's something we'll certainly watch later on social media and in our evening newscast. But that's a sign that this storm was damaging, especially when that warning was initially issued a little bit earlier, and we looped that radar back. And I think there in eastern East Feliciana Parish, you can see, especially where that hook was and where that largest hail core was earlier, that is likely where those authorities are moving toward now to inspect the possibility of storm damage.
Kind of right in this area here. I mean, it was a really impressive radar feature. It was looking very concerning for at least the possibility of a tornado and definitely hail. I think it's almost a certainty that hail was falling out of this, and very large hail at that. We have seen that hail core really start to weaken, and even the tornadic threat start to weaken as well. Yeah, look at that. So this is our hail product. This is the radar estimating how large the hail is. Whenever you see blues on the board, that's when we get over 1 inch in diameter. That's enough to prompt a severe thunderstorm warning. All these whites and grays would be sub-severe hail. But you could still note maybe pea-size hail with this, up to perhaps a nickel-size hail. And that's due to the rotating thunderstorm aloft. It's a really intense rising current into the storm that can help create these hailstones that eventually reach the ground here. So this is the latest radar scan here in St. Helena Parish. Seeing these reds and these blues, they're not very bright, and they're somewhat spread out from one another, and that is really helpful from a rotation standpoint. That's good news. It would indicate broad rotation. Haven't seen anything tightening up over the next little while here. So we're going to stay on this for another couple of minutes here. If we don't see any signs of this strengthening back up, we will end up sending it back to programming, likely closer to the top of the newscast. That tornado warning going until 7:15, but there's a decent chance that the threat will be over before then, unless it can flare back up in intensity.
Yeah, and at that point, what we would do is we would come back to coverage if need be, but no reason to extend this past the top of the hour if we see that threat starting to wind down in central St. Helena Parish. The warning proper is live until 7:15, but right now, no signs that it's going to be extended beyond that. There are signs that this storm may have had a history of producing some damage, possibly due to gusty wind, hail, or maybe a tornado in eastern East Feliciana Parish, but it has been weakening since then. But at least as far as the core of this storm or the heaviest part of the storm is concerned, it is right now just to the southwest of Greensburg and along Highway 37 and moving toward Highway 449 and eventually Highway 43. Again, it's kind of the southern tip and the central part of the storm where it's at its most intense right now. I'm just circling with those white moving arrows you can see on the screen. If there's some rotation, if there had been a tornado, it would have been on the southern end of the storm. The core of it, the heaviest part of the thunderstorm where the heaviest rain is and any hail may be, is just to the west of Greensburg right now, kind of in the northern part of the top part of that circle of white arrows. So those are the areas that we have been watching and will continue to keep an eye on here as we come toward the top of the hour. But again, right around 7 o'clock, we plan to wrap this up, as it looks like this storm has weakened considerably. Not completely done for the evening. The storm station will remain in-house here, of course, and monitoring the severe weather threat as we move past nightfall, when all of these storms really should start to diminish pretty rapidly. But we'll continue to keep an eye for our residents in eastern St. Helena Parish and the I-55 corridor into Tangipahoa Parish. And certainly on the news at 10 o'clock tonight, we'll follow up with any damage reports that perhaps the newsroom has been able to confirm in eastern East Feliciana Parish. Right now, all we've gotten is word that authorities are heading in that direction to look at what may be some storm-related damage. There's a chance that it was caused by something else, but certainly would be coincidental, as that's a part of the parish that probably took the brunt of this thunderstorm earlier in terms of hail and also in terms of possible rotation and tornado. I'm going to circle that area that I would bet that they're looking at for damage right now in eastern East Feliciana Parish. So tornado warning live until 7:15. Please stay sheltered if you're in between Greensburg and Montpelier and St. Helena Parish. This has been special storm station weather coverage. We'll keep you posted as we move into the evening hours.
We now join our scheduled programming, already in progress.
It's hard.
It's time.
Let's do it.
Sunrise.
A brand new round. The Ohana round is all about family.
I dedicate this song to you, Papa.
This song's for my mama, my daddy,
My son.
My grandpa.
my lovely mother.
I can't look at her too long or I will immediately cry.
I think it's harder to perform in front of your family. It's like a different kind of pressure.
Expect unforgettable voices. Emotion laid bare.
Every time I see my boy while I'm singing, man, it gives me an extra boost.
I love you, boy! But this time, the judgment goes beyond our panel. 3 groups will be charged with making some critical decisions. The idols themselves, Ohana, their family, and a panel of top music influencers and pop culture tastemakers.
The song is not big enough for that voice.
I absolutely loved her tone. I know she has it, and I wanted to see it so bad.
I think she nailed it.
Each group will vote for the performance that moved them most, earning the winners a platinum ticket that takes them straight to America's vote.
Let's hear one more time for the platinum ticket winners.
Then the judges decide who earns the final spots in the top 20.
My favorite is over here.
I will fight for her.
You better get her right now.
It gets to you that your journey could come to an end.
Whose lives will change forever? From Aulani, a Disney resort and spa in Helena, Hawaii, this is American Idol.
Please give a warm welcome to my friend, Mr. Lionel Richie.